without wanting to take it apart. He couldn't glance at a menu without memorizing it. Pale, with round eyeglasses and unruly hair, in blue jeans, black undershirt, and beatniky sandals, Keith laid his hands on the spread-out parts of the stereo, as if he wanted not to build it, but to cure it. Then he picked up a small screwdriver and looked at the overhead light through the mango-colored plastic handle. He pursed his lips. Sometimes Keith looked older than his parents. And then he got up and went upstairs. Sammy, the younger son, 12 years old, was sprawled out on the couch, naked except for a pair of khaki shorts. Blonde, bronze, and blue-eyed, his prettiness was almost comically conventional. He looked like the kind of picture little girls tuck into the corner of their mirror. Sammy was somewhat outside the Butterfield mold. In a family that cultivated its sense of idiosyncrasy and its sense of personal uniqueness, Sammy's genius already seemed to be taking the form of profound regularity. Athlete, dancer, paperboy, blood brother, and heartthrob, Sammy was the least retiring, the least internal Butterfield. We all really did believe, even when he was 12, that one day Sammy would be president. And then there was Jade, curled into an armchair, wearing a loose, old-fashioned blouse and a pair of unflattering shorts that reached almost to the knee. She looked chaste, sleepy, and had the disenfranchised air of a 16-year-old girl at home with her family on a Saturday night. I scarcely dared look at her. I thought I might simply hurtle myself through the window and reclaim her as my own. It had been 17 days since I'd been banished from their home, and I tried not to wonder what changes had taken place in my absence. Jade looked at the wall. Her face seemed waxy, blank. The nervous knee jiggle was gone, cured by my banishment, and she sat unnervingly still. She had a clipboard wedged between her narrow hip and the side of the chair, and she held in her hand one of those fat ballpoint pens that have 3 separate cartridges, a black, a blue, and a red. I still believe the statement that gives the truest sense of my state of mind that night is that I started the fire so the Butterfields would have to leave their house and confront me. The trouble with excuses, however, is that they become inevitably difficult to believe after they've been used a couple of times. It's like that word game children discover. You repeat a word often enough and it loses all meaning. Foot. Foot. 100 times foot, until finally, what is foot? But even though the truth of my motive has worn a little thin, and through its diaphanous middle I can detect other possible motives, I can still say that indeed the clearest thought I had when I lit the match was that starting a fire on the porch was somehow a better way of rousing the Butterfields from their exclusive evening than a shout from the sidewalk or a stone against the window, or any other desperate, potentially degrading signal I might make. I could picture them, sniffing the smoke sent off by the pile of old newspapers, trading glances, and then filing out to see what the trouble was. This was my strategy. As soon as the papers catch fire, I hop off the porch and run down the block. When I'm at a safe distance, I stop to catch my breath and begin strolling back toward the Butterfields, hoping to time my arrival with their emergence from the house. I'm not sure what I planned to do then. Either jump right in and help put out the little fire, or stand transfixed, as if surprised to see them, and hope that Jade or Anne would see me, wave, invite me in. The point was not to allow them to go another day without seeing me. I don't recall debating this plan of action. Nerved out and lovesick, I simply proposed it, and then a short time later was lighting a match. I waited for a moment, my legs shaking from their desire to vault off the porch and run like hell, to make certain the fire had really taken hold. The flame lifted the corners of that stack of papers, page by page, increasing the depth of its penetration, but not the breadth. I could have put it out by stepping on it a couple of times, and I came close to doing so, not out of foresight, but panic. I remember thinking, this will never work. The flame, after burrowing through a few layers, at last made its move to the heart of the pile. It seemed to have found the perfect dry bridge to race across. It was still not an impressive fire by any means,